Jake Morrison woke up freezing, the kind of cold that sinks into your bones. His eyes opened slowly, heavy like lifting weights. Everything was blurry. He saw white lights, metal walls, and smelled stale, recycled air. He tried moving his arms, but they felt heavy. His mouth was dry as sand. Where was he? What had happened? Slowly it came back to him, the mission, the ship, the cryopod, right? He was on the research ship Horizon's Edge, headed for Kepler 442, a star system 50 light from Earth. Jake was the mission commander. There were 200 others on board, scientists, doctors, and engineers, all in cryo-sleep, but something felt wrong. Jake pushed on the cryopod door. It opened with a hiss, releasing a mist of cold air. He sat up slowly, dizzy. The room was far too quiet. There should have been others waking up. He should have heard voices, but nothing, just silence and the hum of machines. "Hello," Jake called, voice rough. "Anyone there?" No reply. He stepped out, legs weak. He held the wall to stay upright. Cryopods stretched out before him, all of them dark, all silent. He rushed to the nearest one, Carl Martinez, the engineer. Inside, Carl's skin was pale blue, covered in frost. Red warning lights blinked. Double quotes, no. Jake whispered. One by one, he checked the others, me, Lisa, Tom, Maria, all dead, all frozen. Their life support had failed, but not his. Why? Jake's hands trembled. He was alone, floating in deep space with 199 dead crewmates. He needed answers. He had to get to the bridge. He moved through the ship's dim corridors. The place looked older, dustier, lights flickered. The ship felt tired. On the bridge, Jake powered on the computer. The screen showed the ship's status and the time. Jake stared. They'd been traveling for 127 years, not 50. Impossible, he muttered. He opened the mission logs. The AI using Lisa Grant's voice began to speak. Year 73. System failures, cryopods losing power, attempting repairs. Year 95. Exotic particles detected from a nebula. Wake-up attempts failed. Year 118. Approaching destination. One surviving crew member. Jake sat in shock. Everyone else had died. Only he survived. But why? He felt strange, stronger, faster. When he pushed off the chair, he floated farther than expected. He grabbed the wall. Gravity felt off. He looked at his hands. They looked normal, but touching the wall, he felt a spark like energy. Back in the cryo bay, Jake checked his pod. It had received extra power from an unknown source. He scanned himself. The results were shocking. His bones were denser, his muscles stronger, brainwaves were abnormal. His cells were full of exotic particles, the same ones from the nebula. Particles hadn't just saved him, they had changed him. He tested his new strength. He could lift equipment with ease, run faster than ever. When he touched the ship's computer, data flowed into his mind instantly. He could feel the ship's systems, like it was alive. Jake fixed broken panels just by touching them. He opened files with a glance. He even controlled parts of the ship with his thoughts. But the more he discovered, the heavier the truth felt. He wasn't human anymore, not fully. And he was almost at Kepler 442. Alone. Jake looked out at the stars. The sun of Kepler 442 glowed ahead. He scanned the nearby planets. One had cities, structures, life. The planet wasn't empty. The ship had found no signs of life before launch, but that was over a century ago. Maybe the species arrived later, or maybe they'd been hiding. Jake opened the comms. "This is Commander Jake Morrison of Earth's ship Horizon's Edge. We come in peace." A harsh reply came quickly. "Unknown ship. Surrender now. Prepare to be boarded. Resistance will result in destruction." Jake tried again. "We mean no harm." Silence. "Inferior. You will obey or die. This system belongs to the Dominion." 3 enemy ships launched. Fast, armed, sleek, deadly. Jake had to act. The Horizon's Edge wasn't made for combat, but Jake was different now. He dove toward the planet, dodging energy beams with inhuman reflexes. The Dominion ships fired a net made of electricity. When it hit, Jake felt it like it touched his own skin. He reached out with his mind and reversed the net. It drained energy from the Dominion ship instead. That ship shut down. The others fired missiles. Jake turned one around and sent it back. It exploded on impact. The last ship pulled away in panic. "They're calling for help," Jake realized. He hid behind a moon. Scanners soon showed 12 more ships. One was massive, a flagship. A voice came. "I am War Marshal Vexer. You will surrender." Jake responded. "We wanted peace. You attacked first. Peace is for slaves," Vexer said. The fleet surrounded him. Jake shot from behind the moon, flying straight at them. Missiles and beams filled the space around him, but he dodged every attack. He struck the flagship's engine. Then, using the exotic particles in his body, he hijacked the ship's power. The flagship went dark. Impossible, Vexor gasped. Jake faced the others. They switched tactics. Bullets now, not energy. One hit the horizon's edge, damaging the engines. Jake pushed his powers harder. He reached into nearby ships and twisted their controls. Two crashed. Others turned on each other. But it was exhausting. Then the mechs came, giant robot soldiers. 50 of them. Jake left his ship, wearing only a spacesuit. Out in space, he met the first mech. He dodged, tore out power cables, and sent it spinning. One by one, he fought them, using his mind and strength. He was one man, but not just a man. He was humanity's last hope. And maybe with what he had become, he had a chance to win. Jake drifted helpless in space as more enemy mechs came at him from different directions. He pushed off the first one and launched himself toward them. In zero gravity, his enhanced reflexes gave him speed and control no human should. Had he reached both mechs, disabled their power systems, and watched them float away, dead machines. But it was draining. His strength was fading fast, and there were still 47 mechs left. Then he noticed something on his scanner. A new ship was entering the battle zone. It wasn't Dominion. It was smaller, faster, and sending out a signal that made his heart race, a human signal. The ship flew past the Dominion fleet and stopped near Jake. A voice crackled through his suits. Come clear, gun clear, calm human, unknown human. This is Dr. Kira Bell of Earth Expedition Ship New Dawn. You need assistance. Jake couldn't believe it. Dr. Bell, this is Commander Jake Morrison. Yes, I could use a hand. Hold on, Commander. We're on our way. The New Dawn opened fire, tearing through the remaining battle mechs with weapons Jake had never seen. Advanced Earth tech that sliced through armor like it was nothing. As Jake floated in space, watching another human ship save him, he realized something had shifted. This wasn't survival anymore, it was war. The New Dawn's rescue pod pulled Jake inside. His body trembled with exhaustion. He'd never fought that many enemies at once. He barely had strength left. Dr. Bell met him at the airlock. She was tall, with sharp eyes and short brown hair, someone who'd seen too much war and still stood strong. Commander Morrison, she said as he took off his helmet. We've been picking up Dominion chatter about a human who can control their tech. That's you, isn't it? Jake nodded. How many humans are still out here? She lowered her eyes. Not many. We left Earth with 50 people. 15 years ago, only 12 of us are left. Jake followed her through the ship's tight corridors. It was smaller than Horizon's Edge, but built for combat. Heavy armor, powerful engines, top-tier weapons. Earth had clearly learned something while he'd been gone. Earth knows about the Dominion now, Jake asked. Yeah, Kira said. After losing contact with 6 colony ships, they started preparing for war. New Dawn was one of the first military scouts. In the medical bay, she scanned Jake. Her eyes widened at the results. Your body's different. Your cells are full of exotic particles. Your entire system's changed. Jake told her about the cryo-sleep, the nebula, and how the particles saved and changed him. Kira looked fascinated. We've seen those particles too. The Dominion uses them to power their advanced tech, but we never figured out how to control them. I can, Jake said, but I don't know how. Kira led him to the lab. Tables were covered with captured Dominion gear weapons, computers, mech parts, all taken apart, studied, and tested. We've been trying to reverse engineer their tech, she explained, but it never works for long. It's like the machines know we're not supposed to use them. Jake walked over to a Dominion energy rifle. As soon as he touched it, it powered up. Lights flicked on. Energy surged. Kira stared. How did you do that? Jake shrugged. It feels natural. Every device he touched responded. Computers came online. Weapons hummed. Communications started scanning. It was like the tech welcomed him. With your help, Kira said, we might actually stand a chance. On the bridge, Jake met the crew. Captain Roy Davis was a scarred veteran. Navigator Helen Price was young but steady. The rest were soldiers, engineers, scientist fighters who had learned to survive. Jake asked, what are we really up against? Davis pulled up a star map. Dozens of red dots blinked. The Dominion controls over 40 systems. Any species they meet, they conquer or wipe out. How many ships? Thousands, maybe more. The fleet that attacked you was just a patrol. Jake felt a pit in his stomach. Even with his powers, he was just one man. Helen added, but they have a weakness. Everything runs through central command hubs. Every ship, every mech, every weapon connects back to those cores. If we could hit the command centers, Kira started. Jake asked, "Where's the main one?" Davis pointed to a blue star. Kepler 442b, the planet you were heading to. Jake studied it. The place was covered in ships, defenses, and orbital cannons. How do we get close enough? We don't, Kira said, smiling. We get captured. Her plan. Jake would let the Dominion take him. They'd be curious, wanting to study a human who could control their tech. Once inside, Jake could take over from within. At the same time, New Dawn would launch a coordinated strike. Davis wasn't convinced. If they find out what Jake can do before he reaches the command center, he's dead. Jake nodded. It's risky, but I'm the only one who can do it. For 2 days, Jake trained. He learned Dominion systems, practiced hiding his powers, and trained to resist activating tech just by touching it. On the 3rd day, they launched the plan. New Dawn approached the planet. Jake climbed into a fake escape pod designed to look damaged. Kira's voice came through the remember, act helpless. Let them think you're just another survivor. I'll try, Jake replied. The pod drifted. A Dominion ship picked him up. Jake was drugged, unconscious when they brought him in. He woke up in a cell. No windows, metal walls. A Dominion soldier stood guard like an insect crossed with a reptile. You are prisoner 4847, it said. You will be studied. Do not resist. Jake nodded weakly. I understand. They brought him to a massive lab. The facility was built into a mountain. He saw other humans tired, scared, trapped. For 3 days, he played along, pretended to be normal, answered questions, underwent tests, but all the while he studied the place. He found the command center, learned its layout, discovered a horrifying truth: they weren't just studying humans, they were trying to make hybrids, soldiers with human DNA and exotic particles. But the experiments failed. Only Jake had survived the transformation. On the 4th night, he acted. He reached out with his mind. The entire facility was alive with tech powered by the same particles in his body. Jake stood and placed his hand on the wall. Energy flowed. He unlocked every door, took over every system. Alarms blared his alarms. He sent a signal to New Dawn. The final battle had begun.